Hello everyone and welcome to another iRacing video. It's week number 2, or technically week number 5. We're at Laguna, Seca, which has always been one of my best circuits on iRacing in the Mazdas. So I was really excited for this. We're starting from last, as per usual. Away we go. We need to get our heads down. We don't want any incident points. We're going to go straight on over to the inside. We managed to get a P3, I think it was, at Okayama last week. So, wanted to obviously be on the top spot, really late on the brakes into turn 1, and we're going to make sure that our car's all the way to the inside, and the guy on our outside just turns into us. So we get 4 incident points for that, which I don't think is my fault. You guys can let me know down below if you think that was my fault. And then going into this corner, I try to leave a lot of space. I don't actually leave that much because I thought the guy, he's hit me once, he might do it again. Someone spins, but we've gained a few places, and that's the main thing. We don't have any significant damage either. So keep our heads down, keep on working up through the field. Now I can see that the 2 drivers ahead are going side by side into this corner, which means I'm going to look to try to get a late apex and get alongside them. But we definitely have a better run, but there's no way for us to go. So we're just going to back off and again try to get a good run through this blind left-hander, one of my favorite corners on iRacing. We get 1 position, he ends up spinning behind us, but we've got the drive going up the hill as well, which is fantastic because it means we're alongside going into the corkscrew. We get a little bit sideways and then he kind of just turns across us. So very smart from us just to completely back out so that we don't have our front end chopped off. And sometimes in iRacing, especially when you're racing in rookies, you need to have that kind of smarts around you to not get involved in those incidents. So there we could kind of tell that he was going to come across, so we just got on the brakes a little bit harder and backed out of the move. So nice and late on the brakes into the final corner, get on the power, leader spun, we've got a decent run. There's another driver who's got a bad run, but we are up into P5, and having started this race from what, P12 or something I want to say, not too bad that we're up into 5th place. And now the 2 drivers in front are pretty much going side by side, and again that driver in the teal car really just cutting in front of the blue car into the apex, and then he kind of turns across me a little bit. I shouldn't have put my nose in there, but you know what, let's give him the middle finger because he kind of turned across us. He was being a bit of an idiot, but still not the right move from us. We end up losing a position, almost 2. And then coming to the end of lap number 2, the driver in front just gets on the power way too early, loses the back end, getting on the power while the car just isn't balanced, causing it to spin out. But we are up into P4, but we have the pace, so we're constantly catching up to the top 3. And then going into the final corner, we just get the apex so much better. We can get on the power earlier. If you get on the power too early and take that apex too much, it lifts the car up. So when you get on the power, the back end steps out because all of the power is essentially going onto one wheel that's making contact with the circuit. But we're close enough to go for a ascent. Are we going to go for it? No, we're not. But he kind of misses the apex, which means we can slide our way up the inside. We nail both apexes. We get the position. So I was very, very happy with that little overtake into turn 1. But again, heads down, trying to catch up to the leading 2. And hey, at the end of that very lap, we've caught up to the driver in front. We get another really good run through the final corner. We're in the slipstream, and I know at this point where I want to do the overtake. We're going to do it on the brakes into turn 1. So we try to stay in that slipstream for as long as possible. We get the fastest lap of the session. He brakes really early. I think he tried to brake check me there. So I think that was a massive dick move, to be honest. But we get the position, really quick reflexes, and yeah, can't complain too much. And then at the end of that lap, we've caught up to the leader. Again, we get a really good run through the final corner. We're in that slipstream, and we're just going to keep on catching. And I know I want to overtake into turn 1. Is this guy going to go defensive? He is indeed, but he leaves the door open a little bit. We squeeze up the inside. We set a new fastest lap of the race, and up into 1st position we go. And that's it. We set a 138.1. We've got to the front. We've done it really well. There was one bit of a sketchy move, and we stayed there to the end. We ended up stretching out our lead to about 4 seconds. The guy who we did overtake for the lead ended up spinning, trying to keep up with us. So yeah, we won by pretty much 5 seconds, which is a pretty solid result. I think it was about 1,500 field, so nothing that insane. But hey, we will take that, and a pretty good way to get our first win on iRacing since our return. A win in Mazdas, you know, my old favorite car, and at my favorite circuit, Laguna Seca. It's always been my best track, so yeah, I was chuffed that the first win back on iRacing came here at Laguna Seca. But with that said, we try to do 2 racing series every week, and the other one is the Dallara F3. So with that said, let's move on over to the Formula 3 cars. We're at Silverstone, and I thought I would show you guys my qualifying lap. So this is the end of the first qualifying lap. We make our way through the final corner. Tyres have got up to temperature, so we can just push that car a little bit more. I think it's a little lift. No, it's completely flat through Abbey. Then you go through Farm, again completely flat. The rear end can be a bit loose and hard onto the brakes down into Village. Second gear, we missed the apex, so a few tenths gone. Car back over to the right as we go into the loop. First gear, hit the apex on the power. We can definitely carry more speed through that left-hander. That was one corner that I was really struggling with every single lap, just to not only get right, but be able to do consistently as well. We're now on the Wellington Straight, nice and late onto the brakes, just trail braking all the way to the apex of Luffield. We end up missing the apex a bit, and we probably drop another 1 or 2 tenths, and then through Luffield we go. Sorry, left-hander was Brooklands. Now it's Luffield onto the power again, just opening up the steering as you get on the power, because it opens up so much. At least that's what it feels in these F3 cars. So you just have to get it right, and then into Cobbs. Just little dab on the brakes, down to 5th gear, back on the power. You can carry so much speed through the old turn 1, and then into Maggots and Beck. It's one of the best sequence of corners in the world. Completely flat through Maggots, and then we're going to double downshift down into 4th gear, hold it over to the left before swinging it into the right of Brooklands, and we just get it a tiny bit wrong. We end up losing a few more tenths, and we invalidate our lap. I thought I should include this anyway because it was definitely my best lap time, and actually this lap would have been good enough for pole, even if I hadn't, even if I don't include the amount of time I lost. We also go a little bit wide through Stowe, and then as we head down into Vale and into Club Corner, 2nd gear, just on the power. So our best is a 34.1. We're 3 tenths quicker, and there was definitely another 2-3 tenths in it. So we could have easily done a 53.5 if we hooked it up, maybe even a 53.2. Either way, we're still starting from 2nd, and I can't really believe this. On my 2nd week of racing in Formula 3s, I'm starting on the front row of the grid. I was super excited for this. So flat on the power, and away we go. Somebody mentioned in the YouTube comments before about just getting on the power at the right time, or just going flat out straight away, and that's what I did. We're up into 1st. Through turn 1 we go. We're leading the race, and I know I have the pace from qualifying. So heads down, and then down into this right-hander. He just sends it up the inside. We don't turn in, but we're then left with nowhere to go as he goes wide. So we end up losing the lead. Now we're going to try to get on the power nice and early because we're taking the wider line, so we can open up our steering that little bit more, but it's not quite enough to stay alongside through Aintree. We're going to get in the slipstream, move on over to the inside, and he kind of moves across us under braking, and then jumps on the brakes as he does move in front of us. So a little bit stupid from him. But again, let me know in the comments, do you think that was my fault, or was that his fault? Because I think he moved in front of me just before the braking zone, and then left me with not many options. This driver's got a good run, but he's smart. He's not going to try to go up my inside into Cops from that far back. He's not going to do a Lewis Hamilton and absolutely murder me. But yeah, that's it. We were then leading, and we held on to the lead for a while. But on lap 3, as we go through this right-hander, we're now going into Club, and the driver behind is about a second behind. He had been sticking with me, but I was just, you know, starting to get into a rhythm and really putting in good lap times. And then through Club, I clip the curb. We stop the back end from snapping out on us, but we lose the position, and we get a slow down penalty, which, I mean, I've lost the lead, and then you get a slow down penalty as well, was really infuriating. And just as I thought I'd lifted off enough, the slowdown penalty then increases, and not only do I lose 1st, but I lose 2nd as well, as I try to minimize the amount of time I lost. The slowdown penalty is really weird on iRacing. if you have to go through a corner with a slowdown penalty, you lose about double the amount of time. But we were kind of sticking with second place, and a lap later we kind of caught up. He has a really weird line in through Maggots and Beckett's, which allows us through Beckett's and then through, I think it's Church, to get a really good run. And we're closing in, we've got slipstream, and I'm thinking, right, I need to get this move done so I can catch up to the lead. And I'm thinking, am I close enough? Do I really want to go for a ascent? I've never tried to overtake into Stowe before, so I thought, don't do it. And then we have a massive tank slapper on the apex as we get onto the power too early. And I thought, okay, heads back down, we've got the pace, we can catch up. But then we make another mistake, and I think I just got into my head, because from this point I wasn't really able to catch up to the leading two. They ended up pulling away, and you can see where they are. They haven't pulled away too far, but they have still pulled away. So yeah, I was obviously a bit upset with that. We somehow got 13 in incident points. So we had 4 for the contact on the first lap, and then a couple of one incidents. I don't know where the rest have come from. And then into Stowe corner, as we get on the power, we just lose the rear end. On the very last lap of the race, somehow we don't get any incident points. Oh, we do, we get a single incident point. But we were so far ahead of fourth that it just did not matter. So that's been this race at Silverstone, a third, which, to be fair, is our first ever podium in the Dallara F3. So we got our first ever win back on iRacing at my favourite circuit, the Mazdas, and now we've got our first ever podium. So I think I should still be happy with that. I will definitely take it, considering that's my third ever Formula 3 race, or at least since coming back, maybe like the 6th ever Formula 3 race. So I'm not upset with that. And here are our results. So you can see we've done quite well in both. We've picked up a decent number of points. Not a huge amount, but we are in the top 100 for each of the divisions. So with that, thank you very, very much, guys, for watching. If you haven't already, do drop a like and subscribe as well. And yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what was your favorite overtake to watch, or whether you think any of those incidents were my fault or other drivers. And I'll see you all next time for the next set of videos.